got about 3.5 weeks left before the primary. How are you feeling about how your campaign's going so far?
I think it's going well. In fact, it's a very fluid race. We have gone up heavily on TV, and in fact on your station and other stations around the state. And television is probably the most important media as far as reaching the people. And those of us who are up on TV, will be seen, and the numbers will rise accordingly. So I think we're doing well.
What's the response been to your ads? Have you had 3 of them or 4 of them so far? What's the response been?
We've had 3, and then we're going to have 4. We're going to have 1 more. And they've been very good. I've tried to talk directly to the people of Alabama, and all of our ads have been positive ads. All of our ads will stay positive. And we want to talk directly to the people because we want to be the governor of the people.
And speaking of positive and not so positive, obviously Tim James and Bradley Byrne going at it. It escalated on radio today. You said you heard a little bit of it. What was your reaction to what you did hear?
I think it's a silly season.
That's a good way to put it.
And you know, and so I think that somebody's going to go after somebody else. It's just not going to be me. I'm going to talk about putting people back to work, and I'm going to talk about jobs, and I'm going to talk about honesty and ethics in government, and what I'm going to do. I'm not going to talk about the other candidates. We have some good candidates running. This is just a job interview. I'm asking people to hire me as the next governor of Alabama.
All right. Speaking of jobs, what kind of specific plans do you have to get job creation spurred here in the state?
Well, I think it has to be long-term and short-term. Short-term, I've already done something. In the legislature, I authored and passed the Reemployment Act of 2010 that'll put at least 5,000 people back to work, and that's the type of programs that I want to have as governor. I want to give tax breaks to businesses so that they will hire people, not put people to work in the government sector, but put them to work in the business sector. Long term, we create an environment for Alabama so that we can recruit jobs from out of state and even out of the country coming in.
What do you think kind of caused the unemployment snowball effect? This time 2 years ago it was something around 3.5%, and then last year was around 6 or so, and now it was hovering around 10. What kind of caused it to be so delayed from the rest of the country, and what do you think we need to do to get back on track there?
Well, I think that we still do not have as diverse an employment sector as we should have in Alabama, and that's what I want to work on. I want to work on it so that we can buffer against situations like this. 18 months ago, we were below the average in the country. Now we're above the average as far as unemployment is concerned. So there are things that we need to do. We need to get a lot of different types of industry into Alabama: biotech, aerospace, all the types of industry that I think that would be somewhat resistant to change if we have a downturn in the economy.
Speaking of aerospace, the president's budget released a couple months ago was bad news for this area in terms of cutting Constellation and Ares and these types of things. If you're elected governor, what are you going to do to work with the delegation and the Obama administration to get that back on track?
Well, I'm going to do everything I can with our congressmen and our senators to try to do that. First of all, we need to elect a new president and a new Congress. Once we do that, if we have a new Congress, we're going to change some things. And I think in 2010, you're going to see a new Congress. So I think that's important. But also, we need to do things for this area that are specific for this area. And we need to deal with the BRAC situation and with the renegotiation in 2015. We need to do whatever is necessary to make sure that we keep the jobs that we've gotten here in Huntsville.
Speaking of BRAC, one of the things Mr. Johns was talking about was the infrastructure investment. What is your opinion on that? A lot of the gas tax money that North Alabama pays does not come back here. Would you change that?
Well, in fact, I signed that gas pledge. I mean, that's arbitrary. 80 cents on the dollar is arbitrary. We hope we can get more than that. But I think it's very important for this area to make sure that we have the proper infrastructure. That's part of the pieces that will help us in the renegotiation in 2015, is to make sure that we have adequate infrastructure. Not only that, but education. There are a lot of things that play into that. But infrastructure is vital.
And last question, going back to the legislature a little bit. Obviously, the hot topic this session was the bingo bill, and now that everyone's being subpoenaed.
That's right.
What is your opinion on that? What is your take on that? And what will you do to lead the legislature if you're governor next year?
Well, I want to get rid of the problem. And the way you get rid of the problem is to have an absolute clean vote Up or down, yes or no. And if it's no, we do away with all gambling in the state of Alabama, and then you have a chance also to get rid of Indian gambling. But if it's yes, then we need to have enabling legislation to define for the people what they're voting on, not later, but at that time. And if it's yes, we make a decision that way. If it's no, we do away with all gambling. We need a true, clean vote in Alabama and let the people decide on that.
All right, sounds good.